This is a demonstration of improvements that I made to the Create Documents form in order to provide a better user experience and in order to correct functionality problems that were preventing images from being inserted into documents, as well as problems that were occurring with the saved documents form and things that were preventing some saved documents from being opened. And I'll begin by showing the user experience problems. Right here, include letterhead, seal, and notary statement. I have them right here in the page where they can be like clicked. And when you click these, they're supposed to get inserted into the documents. Now I'll show their page. Their page was missing the image insertion right here, and you can see where they did the image insertion checkboxes. Right there, those are the same image insertion checkboxes, but the thing is, they have it at the beginning of the questions and answers process. So every single time someone clicks on a document that they want to create, they have to manually go through and decide whether or not they want to do the letterhead, seal, or notary statement. And this could be very problematic. Not only is it extraneous to creating each document to have to do this every single time, but with newer employees, they could be very likely to forget to do the letterhead or seal when it's required in every single document. Like oftentimes, some people might want a letterhead on every single document, and this would be error prone because sometimes they might forget to do it, especially new employees. So what I did is I do a default, like right here. I will click this company right there. This one has them selected by default, and that's because up here, go to letterhead, include letterhead in documents by default, and I have this for each of them. And then right here you can see choose file. This is about uploading images, and this one already has uploaded images. That's part of why that's automatically checked, is that this has images that are supposed to be inserted. And part of the problem with this is that the corporationdocs.com site would have the images which were uploaded saved as blob data types into the database, which would cause problems when they tried to insert it into the documents. I don't even know if they really tried because it never worked. But trying to insert an image into HTML as a blob data type, it's going to result in binary text, and the binary string which is created is often going to be longer than the entire document. And I will go through and show their document process to kind of differentiate it between my own. You can see how my my CSS and HTML and stuff is different too as well. Kind of. And the document looks kind of sloppy. I mean, it looks very sloppy. And that was an error I was pointing out to them back then. But now I will show my version of it. Officer's authority to make purchases. Mine looks a lot cleaner, you can see. And I have a check all. They don't have to just go through and check each individual one. That's the way they had it. And mine, look, you can see the images got inserted. That's something they were never able to do. That's my image for the seal, and that's my image for the letterhead. And mine is in Arial. It's a lot easier to read. But when they get printed out, it actually switches to Times. But in this, it's in Arial font, so that's easier to read. And another problem with theirs is that the Prev button, when they would go back to previous, it would erase all of the answers they had made to questions in the later questions. And this is because they were using something weird called colorbox.js, like a weird jQuery plugin, which treated each one as a separate page. I'll go more into that in another demonstration, but for now, I'll just point out that they were saving images to the database as blob data types. Instead, I would save the images to the server and have them in a special place in storage on the server. And then another thing is that they would save the documents which were created directly to the server, and which is kind of weird. It's kind of like, this isn't Dropbox.com. It's not for storing large amounts of documents, and these documents could stack up very quickly and consume a large amount of space. So what I did instead, and that was part of the problems with the saved documents, is they would have all these various different document types with the extension, and they couldn't open, a lot of the documents wouldn't open because they were opening the document directly. What I do is I save the document as HTML text into the database. So I do the opposite of what they were doing for both. With the images, I'd save it to storage on the server because the images are small and there's only going to be a very limited amount for each company. There's going to be one seal at a time and one letterhead at a time for each company, but with the documents there'd be massive amounts, so it doesn't really make sense to store them on the server in terms of this not being a cloud service system for storing documents. And also it became problematic when they tried to open it up in the browser. And it's far easier just to save it as HTML and then call up the HTML in the browser and create the documents from the HTML. And that's the end of this demonstration.